Good Thursday morning, everybody. This is meteorologist Brad Panovich with your emergency management update for our winter weather event that could occur Friday night into Saturday morning. Yes, it's the third weekend in a row. We've got to deal with wintry weather. Now, this is a little bit different than our previous systems. The timing is more overnight into early Saturday, but the impacts look very similar to what we saw last Friday, where we got a quick burst of 1 to 2 inches of snow, which caused pretty significant travel issues. So we'll go through tomorrow morning. Friday starts off just fine. Daylight hours okay, and really most of the evening hours should be okay. You could see our low pressure, which is you're going to hear a lot about, is this nor'easter bomb cyclone on the coast. But the upper level feature, which is back here to the west, is what's really going to drive our snowfall. This is all driven by what's in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere, which is eventually going to transfer to the coast and energize that nor'easter, but it's going to pass right over us Friday night into Saturday morning. So we go through the evening hours, probably as soon as 6 o'clock, maybe the earliest. I think it's more like 8 o'clock. We'll probably see rain break out across the metro area. Again, it's going to start as rain. The big question mark is how quickly does it change to snow? And it's really going to depend on how fast the cold air gets in here and how heavy the rain is, because the rain actually could help pull down colder air to the surface. So eventually it's going to change to snow, and that probably happens around 10 o'clock in my opinion. You see the time up here. I think 10 o'clock is when we see it start to change back over. And it's probably going to be one of those situations where it's raining and then you're going to see some big fat snowflakes mix in, and then all of a sudden it's just going to be straight snow. And once it starts snowing, it could be briefly heavy around 11 p.m., midnight to about 7 a.m. So I'm going to loop this a couple more times. And I'll stop this, the wee hours of the morning, is when it's probably going to be the worst, because at the same time that the snow is falling, really Arctic air is moving in. In fact, temperatures will plummet into the low and mid 20s. The winds will pick up and the wind chills will drop. So you could imagine if you get a burst of, rain and then changes to snow with falling temperatures, that's going to have a really high impact on the area roadways. The one thing I want to show you first is the winter weather severity index. And you can see most of the metro area in the limited, but you've seen some hints of yellow, which is minor, which this is primarily driven by slick roads. So just like we saw last week, as that system came in on Friday, the roads deteriorated quickly. They were pretty bad through Saturday morning. I expect the same thing, but just shift everything 6 hours later into the overnight and early Saturday. So Saturday morning probably going to be a lot worse than it was the previous week. I briefly showed you the winds, but here's a look at the snowfall forecast. And again, I wouldn't read too much into the totals. I say this all the time. It's really about impacts, and you'll hear this preached a lot, but it's generally in the trace to 2-inch amount. Could there be a burst somewhere? You're seeing like an inch down in Union County here. Yeah, just like pop-up thunderstorms, there could be a band somewhere where the snow is a little heavier, but the impacts probably don't change all that much. Everybody's going to have slick roads as we go into Saturday morning. And I showed the winds briefly here because I think this is part of the storm that is going to be a problem on Saturday, is we're going to have really strong northwest winds. They could gust as high as 30 miles per hour, but you couple that with falling temperatures, you're talking about single-digit wind chills, teen wind chills. So some of the coldest wind chills that we've had in several years here in the Charlotte area. So the cold will become a big issue on Saturday. Even though temperatures could make it above freezing, it will not feel like that. So exposure is going to be a big problem on Saturday into Saturday night. It will stay cold into Sunday as well, and we'll start warming things back up next week. So again, just to recap the timing of this, it's a Friday night after dark, well after dark, probably looking at, I'm thinking things go downhill after 10 o'clock, but probably after 8 is where things, we could see a quick changeover. And you'll know that changeover is going to happen quick. And the timing of that is the most difficult part of the forecast. And if it changes over quicker, more snow. If it takes longer, less snow. But it probably doesn't change the impacts, because with the falling temperatures, whatever falls is going to cause slick roads Friday night and especially into Saturday morning.